It ain't nothing to cut that trash off.
I'm the librarian, and I came to read.
Before we get into her, let me just say something. Let me say something really quickly. I don't know what's going on, but the amount of love that you guys are showing for the Culture Podcast, I am here for it. We just put up the new episode, girl, and she's already giving me numbers that I appreciate. Thank you very much for checking it out. And for those of you who have not yet, you need to go on. Justin and I are giving you guys the show of a lifetime over on fortheculturepodcast.com. Search that shit up. Search For the Culture Podcast on your podcast app. It's on SoundCloud. Girl, I don't know what else to tell you, bitch. As I said, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you need to, after this video, go ahead and especially if you're, you have a long drive, or if you're a long day at work or something like that, go ahead and type in fortheculturepodcast.com and search this shit and tell me what you think. Y'all know Patreon is still lit, ebook is still lit. Check those shits out in my description box. And now let's get into the topic at hand. I know, okay, this is Motivation Monday. If you haven't experienced a Motivation Monday, sweetheart, I'm just telling you that it's lit all the time over here, up in here, up in here. You know what I'm saying? We are talking about real issues that we face in our everyday lives. And I know I've done one on family before, but I feel like it has to. There's a different topic that someone kind of suggested in my comment section. I feel like even though I talked about family, I'm going to have to address the way this particular issue is addressing family. Now, before I talked about the fact that family members can be very discouraging. Some of them, even though they mean well, they can be very discouraging. So I talked about ways previously to deal with that. But this particular topic, somebody was like, can you please talk about cutting family members off? And I'm just like, even though I kind of, as I said, I kind of did address the fact that you may have to cut them off in my other video, I didn't speak about the actual act of cutting them hoes off and why you need to cut them hoes off and some of the tactics that trash people can use. And so I feel like we need to talk about this shit. Now, I'm not saying for a simple disagreement or y'all had one simple fight or something like that. Yeah, I'm not saying that you go into super block mode, you take them off of Facebook, block them on your phone and shit like that. I feel like every relationship, there may come a time where you're having disagreements or where y'all don't see eye to eye. I don't expect a relationship, no matter what it is, to be perfect, especially not family members. I don't expect that to be perfect at all. But what I'm saying is, if you're now in a place where you're recognizing cycles of abuse, sis, girl, something has got to change, okay? And I know, when I speak, I know, girl, I know it's easier said than done, first of all. Second of all, I know that a lot of people may not be in a place to cut family members off, especially if you're a dependent, or if cutting them off may put your ass in some type of physical danger or some shit like that. I understand all of that, but for those people I'm speaking directly to are the ones who have the ability to cut them off without putting themselves in too much either financial danger or physical harm. Now, I feel like the physical harm and financial danger is a whole other subject topic that we're gonna have to address completely, because I don't feel, maybe y'all need professionals to deal with that type of situation. I don't feel like I'm, prepped enough to talk about that shit. I'm not educated enough in that area of psychology and shit to tell y'all what to do when it comes to, girl, sis gonna beat your ass, or your brother beating your ass, or your mother or father being, sexually or physically abusive. That's a whole different subject that I don't feel like I have enough credentials to talk about. But I want to talk about just dealing with emotionally abusive ass family members that you have the ability, or maybe now you're financially independent. I feel like it works differently for children. You may need to seek professional help if you're underage and you are living in a trash ass household. I feel like that's, as I said, a completely different discussion. I'm talking about what family members may kind of do to keep you in a trap. It's like a lot of times they think that just because y'all are blood, or just because you're my son, you're supposed to be, girl, it doesn't matter. If I can cut off trash classmates and acquaintances and shit like that, and you are over here, you're supposed to be my blood, you're supposed to be my family, and you're over here betraying me time and time and time again. You're emotionally abusing me time and time again. You cussing my ass out time and time again. Selfish as hell. You're selfish as hell. Narcissist as hell. It doesn't make any sense for me to continue to be in a trash ass relationship like that, forcing myself to be around dark ass energy, bitch, dark matter type of tease. It doesn't make any sense. If I have complete financial stability, I feel like, girl, those of you, especially those people who are gay and y'all are, underneath your parents' household, sometimes you gotta play the game, sis. Sometimes you go, okay, girl, I'll do what you say for now, girl, and just work your way out of that shit until you're able to be in a space where you're financially independent and you can make your own goddamn rules. I feel like sometimes you gotta play the game. I'm not gonna tell y'all, oh, just jump ship, girl. I don't know, sis. Is there a trampoline below? Like, girl, you're just jumping off the cliff, girl. You don't know what the T is. So I feel like you have to be strategic about what you're doing, but I feel like once you reach a place in your life where it's like, girl, you work your own job, or girl, you make your own money somehow, or you're in school, you're being independent, you're the one making shit happen. It's not your family members anymore, it's not your dad, not your mom, not your auntie, or whatever, and you know there may be somebody over there who is trash and who continues to run you over, walk all over you like you're a fucking doormat, girl, discard their ass. What a lot of abusive family members may do is try to keep you in this cycle, like, girl, because as I said earlier, you're my blood, we're related, we got to stick together, so no matter the trash shit that I do to you, you gotta stick around for it. Girl, no ma'am! No man. I can think about a few times where people kind of recognize, hey, yeah, my parents are giving me all this money, or my aunt, or whoever it is, I'm just speaking in general, whoever it is giving you all this, you know, oh, well, girl, here, take this, take this, take this. A lot of people, girl, why are they giving that shit to you? Are they giving that to you to use as collateral to keep your ass in a dangerous ass situation? Do you feel what I'm saying? A lot of people will give you some shit and be like, you know, 3-4 years down the line, all of a sudden now you hearing, well, girl, you know, I gave that to him. He wouldn't be nowhere if it wasn't for me, girl. It's like, girl, sometimes you got to analyze, girl. If you already know this family member is trash, don't keep taking shit from them. As tempting as it may be, don't take no finances if you can. I understand that situations are very different. Some people don't have a choice. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about for those of you who have a choice. Don't keep taking shit from these trash ass family members so they can keep your ass around. Well, girl, you know that car in my goddamn name, so I don't know what the hell you do. Girl, sometimes waiting is better than having something that you don't own sometimes. Sometimes, I know, as I said, other people, they don't have a choice sometimes. They need the shit. But sometimes waiting and working for it may be a little bit better than being controlled because you took something from someone else. And so family members will use that shit and try and keep you in and keep you close when you know good and goddamn well it's gonna be emotional suicide if you stay close to them. Girl, ditch it. Ditch it, leave it, don't take it, move the fuck on, find some friends. Sometimes friends are better than some of your family members, sis. Sometimes friends are better than your family. Find somebody who you mesh with, who y'all can work together, y'all can cooperate with, like y'all goddamn family, so you can move yourself out of this trash situation. Girl, I know some of you know what the fuck I'm talking about, because some of y'all are in this situation right now, girl. Stop taking all this money, stop taking all this shit from your family members just so they can turn around and when they be abusive and emotionally trash, just so they can turn around and say, hey girl, I gave you this, so you need to shut the fuck up and deal with it, girl. That's not how that shit works. First of all, I didn't ask to be here, sis. Y'all wanted to see what I look like, okay? Y'all want to have a little mini you, okay? I didn't ask to be here, so for now y'all are gonna have to deal with what that means and the implications of all of that, and the fact that yes, I'm a whole ass person. I have a personality. I'm not gonna be a clone. I'm not gonna be your clone, sis. I'm not. It's just not gonna happen. So don't give me money, give me this, give me that to expect for me to reflect who you want me to be back to you so you can be comfortable, girl. You have a whole life and so do I, so I'm going to live mine, okay? And I feel like that's why my mother and I have such a good relationship, because even though we, as I said, we disagree on a lot of things, she still lets me be a whole ass person. So I'm able to engage in certain conversations with her and we are still able to, okay, I know she's my mom, you know, and I give her that due respect, but at the same time, she understands I'm a person, and even though she may disagree with that shit, and even though sometimes she may advise that I don't do certain things, she is still able to say, okay, well, girl, let me just let him live. And I feel like she's now coming to terms with, okay, well, he's a grown-ass person, so let me just, and I love her so much. That's why I respect her so much. But my father and some of the people on his side of the family, on the other hand, they just insist on this heavy-ass, just like, girl, children must be seen and not heard type of bullshit. As I said, y'all already know both my parents and grandparents, all of their ass is Jamaican. Children are to be seen and not heard, no matter how your ass is, old your ass is, you could be 30, bitch, and you still need to adhere to certain rules. And coupled with the fact that my father and a lot of people on his side of the family are very emotionally abusive, or at least the people that I know are very emotionally abusive. They're very vindictive, they're narcissists. So it's like, just because we're related, I'm using myself as an example, I'm not gonna be rolling in the deep on your ass. I'm not gonna stop, drop, and roll every time you want me to do something. I'm not going to sacrifice who I am just so it can make your ass feel comfortable that your sperm works and you created offspring, okay? You may have created offspring, sis, but girl, they may not have the same life path as you do. So for you to act like I owe you something when in all actuality you owe me, sis. I don't know where y'all, a lot of people have this idea that, okay, if you bring kids into work, girl, they need to do X, Y, and Z. No, you need to do X, Y, and Z for the kids. You need to do A, B, actually, the whole alphabet is what you fucking need to do for your kids, because you brought them in, you brought them into the world, and you knew what that meant, girl. You gotta provide for their ass, okay? I don't owe nobody shit for existing, sis. So, and that's why I understand, like, girl, I'm not gonna have no kids. Because if my gay ass finds a way to bring kids into the world and I'm supposed to be their guardian, I'm supposed to be taking care of their ass, my life is now on hold because it's all about them now, okay? Because they didn't ask to be in your shit, they didn't ask to be in your house. It's all about them. So that's why I know I can't do that shit. And if you know you can't, girl, I'm not fin to, as I said, sacrifice parts of my personality to make you feel comfortable. It is what it is. I'm a grown ass man. I make my mistakes and I work hard, you know what I mean? So it's one thing to offer encouragement and insight and advice, give counsel, but it's another thing to be emotionally abusive, controlling, narcissist, and use the fact that y'all are family or blood or whatever as a reason as to why this person should stay abused and should stay mistreated. Those are two completely different things. And if you're currently in a voluntary relationship, I'm not talking about dependent type of shit. I'm not talking about, girl, I'm 16 in school and I want to run away type of things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're in a voluntary grown ass relationship with this person and they're mistreating you, and just because you're family you decide to stay, I think you should rethink that. I started off this video by saying I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes. I'm not saying that people, y'all don't have fights or y'all don't have disagreements. I'm not saying that at all. But if you know that this is ingrained deep within this personality to be an asshole, to be abusive, it doesn't make sense for you to sacrifice yourself over and over and over again just because y'all have some similar ass DNA, okay? Family, girl, doesn't just mean we related. Like, people have built families from nothing and they have remained strong, girl. So if that is something that you need to do, you may need to just go ahead and say, fuck it. I'm gonna build my own. And that's easier said than done. A lot of the shit that I say is, but it's better to build something that is fulfilling than to stay in something that feels like hell, okay? So that's all I have to say on that subject. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I want you guys to comment and tell me exactly what you think we should talk about next Monday. Also, I want you to tell me your experiences with some trash ass family members. As I said, and I'll keep reiterating because I don't want someone who's 15 or 14 to say, well, fuck it, Adrian told me to just fuck you hoes and I'm doing it on my own. Like, I feel like sometimes you do have to play the game up to a certain extent. I'm not saying to get physically abused, but I know there are some homophobic trash ass parents out there that you may have to just endure until you get to college and you're able to do what you want to do. I'm not saying, girl, you 13, go off and run into the wilderness. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, I guess this video was more towards the grown ass adults who have the ability to cut themselves off and they don't do it because their family members are pressuring them to stay in trash situations simply because they're family. That's not how mental health works. Okay, sis? Khaleesi has spoken. Have a good goddamn evening.